Welcome to our first fantasy happy hour. We won't have a Thursday game this week, so our first one is going right to the Sunday slate. Week 13. COVID's slowly taking over, so we might see this a few times throughout the rest of the year here. Hopefully not, but be prepared for some weird schedules. Um, yeah, week 13. Not as exciting of a week as last week. We had quite some good games on the weekend, some really bad games, and it was quite a Sunday. Um, yeah, if you want to just hop right into it, Taryn, for the Sunday slate here, who are you thinking at quarterback?
Well, this is a bigger Sunday slate, although a game got moved. Just so people are aware, the Pittsburgh game looks like it's moving to Monday so that they're not on a real short week because their game is Wednesday now, I believe, hopefully. Funnily enough, I kind of think it's weird that the NFL is pushing this Pittsburgh and Baltimore game as far as it can possibly go to hold on. But Denver has to walk in last week with a practice squad guy that was selling cars or something, and gets pulled up to play quarterback because all four of their quarterbacks go on COVID. So I don't understand how Denver gets the short end of that straw, but Baltimore's just gets pushed forever. Probably because it's a divisional good team game, but it's just kind of funny. But quarterbacks right away, I went actually I'm hoping Tua maybe doesn't play because I like Fitzpatrick. I think that offense runs better through Fitzpatrick. He throws the ball a lot more, and then when he's in the game, Parker's a huge beneficiary of that. And he had a huge game last week. I think over 100 and close to 10 targets or so. And Fitzpatrick just tends to get a lot of yards. He runs the ball. He kind of plays with no. He's not scared to do anything compared to Tua, who seems a little tentative with the ball still a rookie. So that's the game I'd like, and of course stack him with Parker. Where are you jumping to at quarterback? Deshaun Watson week?
No, I wish. Although I still think he'll have a big game because if they get into the red zone this week, he might have to rush it in himself again.
Yeah.
Um, but no, for QB this week, I'm switching it up. I'm going Baker Mayfield. I do like both sides though, like Tannehill or Mayfield. We saw Derrick Henry had a pretty big week with the Titans last week, but if Mayfield starts kind of leading the charge here and getting lots of points, we might see Tannehill throw it quite a bit too. Um, Both had quiet weeks last week, 18, 19 points, a little bit quieter for QBs. Baker Mayfield had 2 TD passes, and I'm just betting on that it's going to be a higher scoring game and over. Maybe hit it the over. I don't know what it is right now, but I'm assuming it's probably pretty high. And yeah, if I jump into my running backs though, real quick, or my running back, I should say, I'm going Kenyon Drake, Cardinals versus Rams. Decent week last week, 22 rush attempts, 78 yards, 2 TDs. Um, and I don't know if that's exactly going to be the best pick because Rams D is pretty good. But I mean, I just my mindset was that Rams D might force Arizona to throw it less and run it more. So even if that might not work out as well for them, but yeah, who are you thinking at running back there, Big Terry?
Well, for starters, I think the running back pool is going to be very chalky, as in everybody's playing the top two guys. I mean, this is the first week, I think, when you go to the top of DraftKings, all the running backs have the green opponent matchup. So you're going to see, like, it's hard not to take those two guys, Dalvin Cook and Henry, especially after last week. Although Cook got a little banged up, so I'm a little tentative to go back there. I played him all, like 100% of him in all four lineups last week, and I regretted it so bad when I saw ownership on Derrick Henry, 7% compared to 50%. But my running back's actually a guy who came back last week and saw a tremendous amount of work in Austin Eckler. He came back and he's 7,100. He gets New England, who hasn't been a good defense, and they're really slow in their linebacker core. So, he ran 37 pass routes for a running back. He caught, I think, 11 passes for 80 yards. He was getting all the dump off work from Justin Herbert. And yeah, I just think he outruns this linebacker core. The problem was he didn't get the use in the red zone. Kelly kind of snaked that touchdown on the 3, I think it was. So, but he's getting enough work that he still managed 24 DraftKings points, and that's not even hitting any bonuses. So he's just getting target. He's kind of a target machine. And then jump to wide receiver. My wide receiver pick is the performance enhancing drugs that Will Fuller took. Um, No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Will Fuller is out. I know you're lost for who to pick now, wide receiver, but I am going to a guy who had a great week last week with a horrible quarterback in Allen Robinson. He kind of had a resurgence with Mitch Trubisky, and I think he plays better with Mitch Trubisky, even though Mitch Trubisky looks like he's throwing at targets that are about 8 yards away from where he should be throwing it. But he had 13 targets, went 8 for 74 and 2 touchdowns. He's kind of that red zone wide receiver there, and they get Detroit this week. So Detroit's bad all around. I like both Montgomery and Allen Robinson in this game for the Chicago Bears, but Detroit just has nothing going for them anymore. And Trubisky's not accurate enough to hit Darnell Mooney down the field, so I think A-Rob's kind of the preferred target there. But where are you jumping to at the wide receiver core?
Well, I'm jumping off the back of your offhanded comment there. That was very rude to a great player and a well-respected gentleman in the Texans organization. But since the Texans have lost Fuller now, Randall Cobb, I believe, is still out or will be out. Kenny Stills is now gone. I mean, that leaves Deshaun Watson with Cooks, who will probably still be moderately high priced. So I'm picking Kiki QT. He has a lot of, maybe not a lot, but he has a few seasons experience here with Deshaun. Depending what he's priced at, I'm thinking it'll be like $3,500. So it could be a really solid wide receiver option. We saw him catch a TD 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, anyways, for his 1 or 2 targets. And I mean, Houston's run game is so bad right now. I mean, actually, David Johnson had okay points last week, but comparatively not good. So I'm looking at this as a cheaper option at wide receiver. If I jump over to my tight end here, I'm going to your boat with Kyle Rudolph versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, I think he's probably he's their second tight end right now. Is the other guy ahead of him, Irv or whatever?
They kind of alternate. I wouldn't say one's ahead of the other.
Okay,
especially lately.
Yeah, I'm just thinking this is also going to be another relatively cheap option, probably a little bit different. Kyle Rudolph had a good week this past week too. And my reasoning behind this one is they're playing Jacksonville, who's 1-9 or 1-10, whatever they are, 1-11. And if it starts to be a little bit of a blowout, I imagine Kirk Cousins will be feeding all sorts of targets and mixing it up. So could pay off, probably a little bit more of a gamble. And I wasn't sure if Dalvin Cook would be out because didn't he leave last week pretty early, or did he come back?
He left about halfway through, then came back.
Yeah,
in the third. So yeah, he wasn't out of the game.
So if he gets hurt again or what happens, might not be a bad option.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of took the same logic we take week over week. Find a guy somewhere around 3,500 to 3K. And this week it's Trey Burton for me. When I looked initially he gets Houston. Rivers likes him. He's kind of that preferred tight end right now, especially near the goal line. He's catching, I think, his 5 TDs on the season, and he's only played, I think, 8 games. So that's pretty good target share in the red zone. Still very cheap at 3,500, and he's got 5 and 6 targets the last 2 games. He can hopefully get you that 10 to 18 point outing that you need out of the tight end. And then defense, it jumped over. It's probably the hottest defense of the last 3 weeks in the Saints. They get Atlanta this week, who came off a crushing performance against the Raiders. I don't understand the Raiders. They could win a game against a good team and then completely just shit the bed. I don't know if I can say shit on here, but you
can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I can. Okay, there's 14 or more points in the last 3 games for that defense. And their pass rush has been great. And also with Taysom Hill, they're burning the clock super fast. So you're not going to see a ton of plays I mean, that might be a bad thing, but it could keep the score low, which is useful for defenses. But you have the defense high end. I remember you saying they held Fins.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins. Just as you said, you're doing the same reasoning with your tight end. I'm doing the same reasoning. I pick a defense, and I have no reasoning. That is the reasoning. I pick a game I think looks good, and I just hope they get 10 points and don't get 0. And so
they are the highest price. So
yeah. Well, I can afford it with my cheaper options elsewhere, so we're going with it.
Yep.
But yeah, this one's been going to be a fun Sunday. There's some good games. It's heating up now with some playoff races, so things are looking pretty cool. It'd be cool if we see a 16-team playoff. I'm hoping Houston can maybe beat the Colts here twice in a row and we can crawl our way back into something. That'd be kind of exciting. But
yeah, Vikings are on the charge too, so playoff bound.
there we go. But yeah, thanks for watching. Last week's were a little bit different with everything getting thrown off here after we recorded. But if you like it, give it a like and a comment and subscribe, and we'd appreciate it. And yeah, listen to our next video, which is the double Monday night header.
Triple.
Okay.